Okay, in this video we're going to show how to take the good old EdgeRouter X and set it up, how to get into the device itself when you take it out of the box. I'm not going to do a unboxing. There's plenty of people online showing how to take something out of the box. I think you got that pretty much figured out. But I want to show how to plug it into a computer, how to actually access the firmware in the device itself, and how to configure it so you can start your WISP. And then we are going to get an AP and configure it to the router so you're ready to go as setting up your tower with the router and the AP. And then in another video I'll show you how to set up the CPE to the AP. So let's get right into it. All right, the first thing you need to do is get access to the router. You need to go to your configuration of your network card, and that will look, let's see, in Windows 10 you go down to the little icon, click on it, left click on it, and it will show your network connected. You click on it and it will open up to this point. In my case, I will have two because I have my regular one that's on the motherboard and I got one that's plugged into USB, so I can do this and still be online at the same time. Now we're going to go to this one here that's not connected because it's not connected to anything because it is sitting right here. This is the cord to it. So we're going to open this up, and if I click on the right thing, you need to go over here while you got this open. Change adapter options. You click there, you'll get this screen. Go to the adapter, double click the IPv4, double click, and you need to set, as I have it here, use the following IP: 192.168.1.5. Now 5 can be anything besides 1. You just need to be in the same range as the router itself, which is 192.168.1.1. But you don't want to be 1.1 on your computer because you can't be identified as the same as the router. So we put 5. That's just anything besides 1 will work. Then we'll go here, get out of here. Then we need to open up a browser, just like this. And we're going to type in 192.168. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going 192.168.1.1. And then we're going to plug in the power to the router. Then we're going to take the Ethernet cord and plug it into the port 0. I'm just waiting for this to boot up. I'm going to plug it in port 0. As soon as it boots up, it will find it. It takes a little bit of time to get it to boot up and be able to log in. Okay, and this is the screen that you get to see when it actually is gotten to the point where it's booted up and it actually be able to access on 192.168.1.1. Username, we're going to just use the default name that most of the devices use. And we're going to use a password that we know. Say agree and log in. That's right. We got to use the default one. Hadn't changed it yet. Let's try that. The default is UBNT and the password UBNT. There we go. The default is UBNT. Router is in default configuration. Do you want to start with the basic setup wizard? Yes. This will make it easier to get you through the steps. Just say yes and be port 0, which is the one that gets the internet into the router. Enable the default firewall, which is automatically checked. Make it DHCP so it will hand out IPs. And in this demonstration, we're going to use only one LAN. It means all ports 1, 2, 3, and 4 will react the same as each other. If you want to give out a different IP range, like port 1 will give out 5.1, and as you can see here, if you do this, this is the range for only 1. Now, if you uncheck that, you see you can get port 1 right here, ETH1, will be in this range. And you go right down here for ETH2, 3, and 4, you can have a different range, a total different IP range itself. Now we're just going to go all. We're just going to hand out 1. And in this case, we're just going to leave it as default because we're not going to connect it actually to the internet or anything. When we do the AP, this is just to demonstrate how you actually set it up. That way, when we do the AP, we will set it in the range of 192.168.1.1. And it says the current configuration will be replaced and a reboot is required for new configuration to take effect. To reconnect to the router after reboot, connect the client device, laptop, one of the, in the LAN ports 1 through 4. You have to go back into your network card or whatever you have in your computer or laptop. Set the client device to use DHCP to obtain an IP from the router. And that will be doing this in this way here, as I showed earlier. You go to the configuration, go here, and get to this point, and go to here, and you have to change it to obtain the IP address automatically. So we don't want to do that yet because to do we won't be able to finish this here. So apply changes. Reboot. Yes. Now we're going to go here and say obtain. Okay. Get out of here. And we just wait for this to actually do all the configuration. Now we take it from port 0 to port 1. So it will actually get an IP from the router. whatever IP that the router wants to give that Ethernet port on this computer. And as soon as it does, we'll be able to log back into the router itself, which should be the same address that we are actually on, because it has not changed from the default itself. As you can see here. So UBNT, UBNT, log in. This is basically all you need, bare minimum, just to get the router set up to use in a WISP or in your business or home. This will hand out IPs now when you plug in a device, whether it's a computer, a laptop, or you plug it into a switch. It will hand out IPs to all devices that you plug in. It has the firewall set, just a bare minimum settings that you need. Now, of course, you need to go and do the updates. You need to go to System. Let's see. Whoop. Go to System. You need to go and download the update of the firmware. Be sure you have the latest. And this is the this is the page that will come up, and you need to go to the Edge, and you need to find EdgeRouter X firmware 1.10.11, which was on 3/11/2020. Right now it is running, as you can see right here, 1.10.7. So we'll go over here and we will see that's the latest. Yeah, that's the latest. So we'll do that. Accept. Download the file. We can go to, yeah, we'll just go put it right here. And let's see. Let's go to Documents. And we'll just download it right there. And that is downloaded. Then we'll go back over to Device and come here and say Upload, which will get us into the Documents. And we will go right here. As you see, it is loading up. As soon as this gets loaded up, we will continue. All right, in order for the changes to take effect, you will have to reboot your device. So apparently it went in, and I see a green back here indicating that it went. So reboot, yes. All right, I'll be right back after it reboots. All right, we are back in the router. That is all it takes to set up the router. get your IP set, get your firewall set, and be sure you're on the latest version, which now we are on 1.10.11 and not 1.10.7. Be sure it's up to date. Got your firewall. It hands out IPs. We're good. Now we need to get the AP, set it up to this router. And I need to mention one thing. If you're going to run this in UNMS, one thing you need to do after you make an account at UNMS is you need to go into your system, come down here, the UNMS connection right here. You need to put in you need to enable and put in your UNMS key. And when you set up an account, you will get a key that you put in all your devices, so they will show up in UNMS, so you can do remote control of like reboot and troubleshoot and stuff like that. That's one thing you need to do to get it to show up in UNMS. All right, now we're going to get the AP, and I have chosen the Light AP GPS to be the candidate of setting up. You would need 2 Ethernet cords to get this connected. And the first thing we need to do is get your PoE device here that comes with the AP. Plug in to the LAN. As you can see, one's LAN and one is the PoE. Take the LAN side, plug it in. Plug in the other one. Now the LAN side goes to your computer. Plug that in. Then we're going to take the PoE and plug it in the cord that comes with it to get 115 volts. Plug that in. Then we are going to take the other one and open up radio. Plug it in. Lights come on. Okay, now after you get all that actually plugged in, all lit up, then you need to go to your configuration in your Ethernet in your computer. Your Ethernet configuration. We do the same as we did earlier, the little icon down there on the right if you're on Windows 10, and get into the configuration as you see here. Then we need to go to change adapter options, open up the one that you're connected to the device on, go to properties, open up IP version 4, and I already set it, as you can see here, 192.168.1.50. Now you can use a different number besides 50. The radio is set on 192.168.1.20, 20. You do not want to set it to 20. You can set it to any other number in that range. 50 is just a number that I like using. It just works because all the radios that I've used so far is not anywhere near that. It works. It's just a number that I chose to use. And then you close that out. Then you need to get a browser opened, as you can see here. And the radio itself is 192.168.1.20. Select country. United States. English. Accept. Continue. Username, we're just going to use UBNT. Password. This or not. It's got to be at least 8. So we'll just make this easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it had to be the mixed case letters, numbers, and symbols. Okay, I do believe let's do something I used before. ABC. We'll use the exact same thing here as ABC, all capital, and 1, 2, 3. That's what we'll use. We'll use capital ABC, then 1 through 9 just to get through this. Now we are in the radio. And as always, do the update and be sure it's got the latest firmware in it. And you can do that by going to, let's see, nope, wrong thing. Let's go here, go to system, check for updates right here. You can just, as I did in the router, check and find it and upload it, reboot it, and it's done. So we go to wireless. This will be access point-to-point AirMax AC. Now, if you're going to use some older equipment, CPEs that's not going to be AC, put it on point-to-point, point-to-multiple point AirMax mixed. So if you're using any like M5 devices, it's not AC, it will communicate with them. And if you don't know if that's the devices you have or not, you can put it on AC and see if you can get a CP connect. And if it's not, come back and put it on mixed and then see if it worked in. The SSID, you name it whatever, your company or whatever you want to name it. So when you get a CPE and start logging into this AP, that's the name you would look for. Channel width, 40. Get the maximum speed out of it. Enable the security. We're going to use 987654321 just for demonstration. Just show that that's where you put your security password. You will need to get your CPE to log in. You need this information here and this information here to log in, user and password. Go to network, static IP. See, it's 192.168.1.20. Now, as you notice that the router was default to this right here. The primary DNS, we're going to put that right there, 8.8.8.8.8. And here you can put 1.1.1.1. Now this here does not need to stay as 0.20 because if you set up another radio, it's going to be the default as that too. Now, since this is the first AP that we are setting on this router to set up a WISP, I like to set it up as just drop the 0. This will be 2. Because 192.168.1.1 is the router. The next device, UB.2. The next one, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. Usually I put all the equipment, the routers and APs and stuff like that, in the range of 1.2 to like up to the maximum I usually is like 0.50. So 0.2 to 0.49 is all the devices range for the equipment in-house. The APs, the routers, whatever other devices, gives you that range to use. Then the first CPE will be 192.168.1.50, and then the next one 0.51, 0.52, and so on. It really don't matter what range or what IP you put. It's just for reference, you know the IPs. Like 2 to 49 is all your in-house equipment, and 1.50 and up is everything outside of the house of, you know, your tower, your CPEs, your relay stations that you set up. That is all in 0.50 or higher. So you know everything in-house, everything that's remotely somewhere. That's just a way I set it up. That way it's easy to find and keep organized. So I can look at the address and say, okay, that's 0.13, 1.13. That's something at the tower because it's, you know, 0.49 or less. I know it's a device, you know, located in-house or remote. If it's, you know, it just makes it easier and organized. You don't want them all over the place. I've tried that. It's just not good to have it that way. We got all the wireless done. Let's see, the power will be according to how far your CPEs are. Network, set it up as bridge. Services, nothing in here except the Ubiquity Network Management System, which is your UNMS key that you will need to put in so it will show up in UNMS. Be sure the device discovery is on, and it is on by default as of when I'm making this video. The system, please connect, correct configuration. Okay, because I got that on, I need to do that. Now I should be able to go to system because I didn't put in the UNMS key. It says try to finish it. Now, there we go. And here you just need to be sure you do the update and also name your device. And that can be as simple as the location of your device. Wherever the location is, you can use that in reference of on the device here. Set it up. So this is the name that will show up in UNMS. You can put in John Doe's Grocery if you set up a access point there to send out. If that's where your tower is, you can put that on there, and that way in UNMS it will show up with that name. That's all that really is the name of the device, so you can reference to it as location. Then after you get all that stuff done, then you need to hit save changes down here at the bottom. be sure you set your time. So the GPS and everything else, you just got to be sure everything is synchronized to your location. Mine will be Eastern Standard Time. Let's see, we check for the updates. That'd be easy to do. The height, how high is the AP from the ground? You can put in the location here, but this one has GPS built into it. Startup date, if you want to put that in, so you know when you put it up, and if you're having problems with it, you see how long it's been in service in that location. Other than that, that is the basics it takes to get this set up as an AP on the router that we just set up. It is that easy to set up the router and the AP to get started with a WISP. Look for the next video showing how to take a CPE and tie it to this AP. And we will have this, we'll have to go in and change the IP on here, but I'm going to plug it into the internet, so when we set up the CPE to tie to this AP, we will actually get internet traffic through it. So look for that video in the next few days. If you got any questions, let me know. Leave them in the comments. Go to the About tab on the main page of this channel. Got an email there. Get up with us. We help you any way we can. See you in the next video.